Yeah, we can talk about mental health.
What's up, everybody? Sean here, filling in temporarily for Brianna on this women's show. We're going to be talking some mental health here, and hopefully, Brianna's just having some technical difficulties, so hopefully, she'll hop on in a second, and I will hop off, let you guys do your thing. But I do have the questions and everything so we're just going to go ahead and do that. You guys normally start off with your introductions and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm Sean, a C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 18 years ago. Um, do you guys want to go on to you guys? You guys are the important women on the show. So,
Okay. I'm Ashley, C4 quad from a car accident.
I'm
With this
Nikki.
one.
I'm Nikki. I'm a T6 not quad paraplegic from the same car accident, and yeah, we're from Chicago. Hi.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Brito. I am a C7 incomplete from California. Car accident 11 years ago.
awesome. Oh crap! Wrong screen. Sorry. I'm using the other screens from my show. Sorry. I wasn't prepared for this, guys. Ladies. Okay,
Yeah,
so
get
I
them.
know from the start of the show, Brianna had just Jessica kind of talking about mental health in general and kind of giving some like broad perspective. So I don't know if you want to do that a little bit right now, just introduce mental health as a topic.
Yeah, so this month is mental health awareness. I was actually supposed to be on Sean's episode the other day too, but I actually am a therapist and had a crisis that came up at work and couldn't make it. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about mental health. First, I'm just going to start by kind of giving an overview on what mental health is. I think a lot of times when people think mental health, they just think like an emotional state or emotional regulation. But mental health is really physical health, which is what I always tell people, right? There are four components that make up our mental health. Number one is psychological. So that is your emotion regulation, um, your ability to learn, your ability to form your identity, like all those things that make up who you are. The second component is going to be physical, which is the actual structure of the brain, the chemicals going in and out of the brain, and even how your body regulates certain hormones and certain chemicals. So that includes physical health. And then we have our social component. So our brains, unlike other animals, really develop and grow through our social interaction. So it's actually called the social brain. In order for our brains to develop and our mental health to be stable, we have to have a good social environment. The last one is our spiritual component, which is basically just an understanding that there is something greater than us in the world. And once all those four areas, psychological, physical, social, and spiritual, come together, we have a healthy mental health. Okay. So anyone who is struggling with mental health will usually have one of those areas a little dysregulated or a little off. And that's kind of what you want to look at to work on. So all of those things make up our mental health. So I think today we're talking about our own mental health. I want to say before and after our injuries, right? And how it relates to disabilities. So that's an overview of what mental health is. Sean, if you want to put up the questions and then we can go from there.
Yep. First question we have is: do you deal with mental health? And what do you have? What do you have, and how long would you say you have been aware of this? Yeah.
You ladies want to start? Well, I'll just say that I think the question is, do we have mental health like
Yes.
issues, struggles?
Yeah.
So for me, I'll say that the biggest thing that I struggle with is ADHD. And I found out I had ADHD actually when I got injured. I really think that they thought I had a brain injury or something because I had a psychologist, a neuropsych, just do so much testing on me, which is not normal usually for a spinal cord injury. And she was very surprised that I was in college at the time. And I think the way my ADHD affects me is I have a lot of highs and lows. Like some people with ADHD are sometimes misdiagnosed, like kind of bipolar and things like that. Because I have spurts of energy. As a teenager, I had a lot of risky behaviors. I got pregnant at 16, just very off the cuff, risky type of person. So those parts of ADHD have helped me sometimes because they help me take risks and do things like that. But then there's drawbacks, like I struggle to concentrate, focus. So I can get really passionate about something and then really struggle to get it done. I usually get it done, but it's a struggle. And then when you have dips in your energy, you kind of have a very low mood, little motivation, and it's really hard to do things sometimes. So that's mine. What about you, ladies?
For me, I don't really like currently. I mean, I feel like everyone deals with mental health, but maybe not like to an extreme extent, I guess. But I do have like on my hospital records, they don't really like check me or anything, so maybe they don't care. But it does say like I struggle with depression and anxiety, which I do feel, but I feel like I haven't as of late. So, what about you?
I'd say for me, before my accident, I didn't really like nothing that was like clinical or diagnosed, but I definitely would have said like I had anxiety, but I guess I stayed so busy, so sometimes I didn't even realize that it was happening. But after my accident, like when I had like a standstill, I definitely noticed how bad it was, like in my everyday life, and just how much like kind of with at least with my personal anxiety, like planning things helps me and stuff like that. But just a lot of like loose ends on my end in my life that I had that I needed to put together to manage it. I still have it. I won't say that it's like gone, but it's something that I've learned to like deal with.
You see,
Shit, I had anxiety today
true.
when we were about to run
Oh
late.
God.
I was having major anxiety, but see, even now I know how to recognize it. Like I've never before was able to even say like this.
Exactly.
I'm feeling anxiety right now. Like I just need someone to like tell me it's gonna be okay. Like, and also PTSD. So after my accident, I kind of knew I had PTSD, but I didn't like no because I never knew like as much as like what did I just say I have anxiety and that is all talked about. Like I feel like anxiety's talked about, depression's talked about, but PTSD is not really talked about. So I didn't know like what the
At least
signs
you
were.
never heard it for like everybody.
Yeah, and it wasn't until
You
I
had a very narrow view on it.
started doing therapy, like mental therapy, not like physical therapy and stuff like that. Those are great, but we're talking mental. And when my therapist told me like you have PTSD and like major anxiety, and it's for me that's like just yeah, that's kind of what I have. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
You're so cute.
And I think, you know, what's funny is that PTSD is so common, especially like, I feel like so I have a history of like PTSD symptoms, and it's pre-injury and post-injury, but I feel like I it's really hard to be aware of the trauma that lives in your body sometimes. But I know that after my car accident, like I can't hear metal hit metal, I can't hear screeches, I can't like it hurts my body. And but I don't have a lot of awareness of my accident, so it's like
It's
PTSD
weird.
but it lives in my
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
That's very similar to mine. Like I don't really like recall much of my accident, but it's weird how it would show up. Like when you do have PTSD, it really is. So
Yeah, and it is very common.
Yeah, I personally know a lot of people with PTSD as well, especially from traumatic accidents and stuff. All right. You guys want to go on to the next question here? We have explain what you feel when you go through this. How does your body and mind feel? So I guess when you go through your PTSD or anxiety, right, or whatever your mental health, whatever you're dealing with.
Well, I think I kind of touched on the ADHD, like when I have a lot of energy and I'm very hyper focused. I don't really notice a lot of like health issues. And then when I feel a dip where like my mood is very low, like I'm just more tired, I feel more sluggish, kind of similar to depression. So it kind of seems like depression, but it's just a dip from the high energy of the ADHD. And then for my PTSD, like I said, mine is mostly physical. Um, I carry stress in my body more than I do in my mind. So I have to be aware and mindful that when I have a lot of stress, my body's going to have a hard time. When there is trauma reminders, like I said, my body will react without me trying. Um, I've gotten better at that. Like I go to the gym and sometimes, when people drop weights, it's still like, it hurts my chest really bad. Like my trainer will be like, I'm sorry, because he knows that it's going to hurt me when people do that. But other than that, I think it's just mostly like pain in the body that I experience with my PTSD. You ladies?
What about you guys?
Go first.
Okay, I think for me, it shows up. Let me make when I feel like
Definitely in the body in pain.
yeah,
For
definitely in the
real.
body in pain. Oh
And
wow, they're
droopy.
getting it here. Sorry guys, if you can hear that. But we
Yeah.
I think it shows up like for me anxiety and I feel like shows up with my heart beats really fast. Sometimes for me personally, like I'll get really hot. So I feel like in that, so it shows up in my body for sure, and definitely like my mind. My mind will be racing, and yeah, I think that's. I don't know how I would even explain how it feels by my mind. That's why it's so weird. I don't know. It's so weird to explain mental health, but it does. I feel like my mind starts racing a lot. Um,
So
yeah,
I think I would say, or can I ask? Because then
yeah.
I could probably help you explain it a little. So is it a lot of worry and difficulty relaxing and just ruminating
Yes,
and fearful of the future and thinking of what could happen, all the what ifs?
exactly. Yeah. All the like what ifs, thinking of the future. Yeah.
Yeah, so we say anxiety lives in the future and depression lives in the past. So
Wow.
depression is usually sadness about like you start getting a lot of memories of all the should have, could have, would have's, right? And another thing with depression that I think people don't realize is, you constantly ask yourself, why am I sad? And sadness is a normal emotion. With depression, if you can answer why you're sad, it's probably not depression. Depression is just like overwhelming sadness with no real like activating event.
Yeah. That's why I always struggle with saying I'm like depressed because I know that that's I don't know. I sometimes feel like I'm not educated enough on mental health, so I don't want to speak on mental health too much. I just okay with sharing like my own personal journey, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that's why I only said what I was what's the word, diagnosed
Diagnosis.
with. But sometimes I do feel like I a little bit not like depressed. That's why I don't even like saying that word, but like
But
just
you can
down.
have
You
like,
know?
yeah, you can have
Yeah.
like, you can have episodes where you're just have like traits of depression without it being like a diagnosable thing. And I think,
I just had a therapy session with Jessica.
well, with our injuries, like, I always talk about the grief and loss process. We're all going to hit that depressed mood for sure.
Yeah.
What about
I
you,
think,
Ashley?
That's
yeah.
why I don't feel like low key. That's why I have a hard time with like saying I'm depressed because I don't be feeling like I'm like sad like that. Like I mean, like when you said why am I sad, I know why I'm sad when I get sad. So that's why I be so confused. I feel like they only put that in my records because when they asked if I had ever been depressed, I was like, yeah. So I feel like that's the only reason it's there.
Didn't you say yeah? I love high school.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, all of high school. But like I don't feel like that anymore. Like I know why now. I can answer the why. So, but like then I feel it to answer the question. I feel it, Definitely my body and my mind too.
Mhm.
How else? In your body? Your
Yeah,
spasms, man.
yeah,
When
my
you be
spasms
feeling
be
some type of way,
intense.
her spasms be crazy.
Yeah, when I'm nervous or scared,
Yes,
mine
when
go
she's
crazy.
nervous.
Yeah, like
Well,
today I
the
went to the
crazy,
AT&T store. My legs was jumping. I was so
well,
embarrassed.
the crazy thing is, like I said, like it's really hard for me to ever say I'm scared or nervous, and so my body will tell me, like, "Girl, you're really like you're fearful of something," and I'm like, "Okay, I think I'm stressed or I'm scared of something." Um, like I can stand right with my trainer and stuff, and if I get scared of standing, like they'll drop me. Like they're like, doing this.
Oh
Yeah.
no. So when does it like pop up for you? Like your both of your guys is
Like our triggers.
like yeah, like
Essentially.
what triggers like for me, like what would trigger your anxiety? What triggers your ADHD? Like do you know?
My ADHD is hard because that's really a chemical imbalance that's constantly going. I think when I get um, certain things will distract me a lot. Like talking a lot is a thing that I do. I mean, it's probably why I'm a therapist because I get paid to talk. Like I don't, you know. But then you want to sit me down to write a note or to write up documentation. That's really hard for me. So, like, I would say with ADHD, you see it a lot when we have to do anything that's tedious. Like, it's just tedious work is really hard for us. Being bored is really hard for us. Like, it makes us sad. Like, it's really interesting.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. What about for you?
For me, what? For me, what?
When do you feel it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
You listening?
I was, but I was listening to just. For me, I'd say I feel it when I don't know, like it's like random, like weird. Definitely get social anxiety when I go to see other people, talk to people on the phone, um,
Go to the AT&T
order a
store.
restaurant, go to the AT&T store, go to Starbucks. I need to smoke some weed because the girl needs to chill.
Then how do you handle it? I order for you.
No, sometimes you make me be a big girl and I do it myself. Okay.
And sometimes you need that friend that pushes you to do it yourself.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's
How
when I
else?
feel it. Going to like family parties, everything. Wouldn't
You meditate.
Oh yeah, I do meditate. Deep breaths in and out.
Definitely.
That helps a ton. Like
I was
just
gonna say,
I need a moment to myself before interacting with people.
need to
Like,
regroup.
yeah, like if I meet you guys at the Abilities Expo, if I disappear for just like 10 minutes, understand it's not you, it's me.
And then I don't get
The
why
moment.
more people. I don't get why more people don't do that. Like go outside, take a breath. It's not a bad thing.
Thank you. Just look at
Yeah, I think people are just worried,
people
like
make me
what
feel
people
like
are
it's a
gonna
bad thing
think, and it's
sometimes.
like, no. To be honest, nobody's probably really even thinking about you.
And I'm like, I just need a minute.
Yeah. I
As
don't
bad
think
as it
anybody's
sounds.
gonna think it's weird if you go outside for a few minutes.
Right? Take it as a smoke break, which is probably what I'll be doing.
Right? Look, I'll be Brianna right now and say hi to the comments. Hi,
Yeah.
Andrew. Hi, Breezy. Hi, someone from Chicago.
Okay,
Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, hey everybody.
easy. What is up, everyone?
I
And
wonder
you
who
guys
this
do have
Chicago
some,
We're from Chicago too,
yeah, local
baby.
Chicago, and we'll be
Yeah,
in
we're from
Chicago for the
Chicago.
Abilities Expo. So come out.
Yes.
Yes, live to and taking over Chicago. Be there,
5 weeks
square.
away.
We'll have the shirts.
Yeah, awesome.
So, should we answer some of these, or should
Yeah,
we go to the next
Yeah, let's
question?
move on to
that
the
was pretty
next one.
much it. There was just Andrew's just talking about some of his story and stuff, which
Yeah.
he's had a pretty rough time.
Andrew, it sounds like some of the stuff you've been through is, may cause some PTSD.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
um, and I always say if you're going to look for a therapist, just when you look at their bio, just make sure they've worked with trauma if that's what's going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we got one more. Hey, Amber. Oops, that was the wrong one that clicked.
I feel like don't be afraid to date your therapist a little
All
bit,
right.
you know?
Hey, Amber.
I mean, like, test them out. It's okay to break up
Test
with
them
them.
out. You can't date them though, guys.
Yeah,
Please,
not really date them.
please don't hit on us. It's so.
That's weird.
I know I've heard you talk about this before, Jessica, as like if it's not a right match with a therapist, you know, it's good to like the therapist will agree that you can move on and just try to find somebody that's gonna be a better
Therapy is
fit.
really, yeah, therapy is really a relationship. And if you're not getting the right vibe, if you're not getting, if you're not feeling comfortable, talk to your therapist and let them know. Um, you don't feel comfortable talking to the therapist, maybe a supervisor, just to see if there's someone else in the office that might be a better fit for you. Because it's pretty normal, honestly. Like, give everyone 2 to 3 sessions to test them out, but it's pretty normal.
Nice.
Yep. Great advice.
Heck yeah. All right, you
So,
guys want to go on
We
to the
good?
next?
should we get on? What are your unhealthy habits that make your mental health worse? Sorry, I have a question.
Unhealthy.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, God, this question. No. Want us to point out our flaws.
I know. I think for me, the most unhealthy thing I do is overbook myself.
Okay.
It's like my concept of time isn't that great. So uh,
I feel
I
that.
I think I can do it all. I'm getting better at saying no to things just for that reason because I over commit. Just the thought that you could just take on the world. I have to remind myself to calm down.
Amen. What's your
What about
unhealthy? I'd say for me is definitely like I notice that I'll get down. Like I said, I'm like a planner. Like if I don't plan my week, just like the things that I have to do when it comes to my day to day life. Unfortunately, I do have to be planned, and sometimes I can find myself like scheduling things, like overbooking myself, and then not actually making time for like the other things that I need to do, if that makes sense. So for me, it's like I'm really big on like doing a schedule. So I try to sit down like every like Sunday night and just like see how the week's gonna look for me. Like make sure I actually look at my calendar, not like avoid it. Plan things out.
Not overbook.
Not overbook, yeah, same thing, same concept. And then also I've learned like even to like kind of voice it. Like I never felt like I was able to like tell people about like what was going on with me mentally, and now I've been able to like tell Ashley like I'm just like it's not it today, like so that way she doesn't think it's an attack on her, but also like she knows that it's like just that I'm having a day. It has nothing to do with her. But yeah, but really only her. I'm still I guess working on telling other people because Ashley is like really the only person I feel like I do tell, like when I'm having a moment. Sometimes. But no, sometimes you create the moment. But we won't get into that. What about you? What's your another unhealthy habit?
Unhealthy habit.
Oh, me too. Oh, this is I don't know if this is maybe you can answer, Jessica. But I notice if I eat like shit that I do not feel my best, and it's something that I've just noticed like probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that I started noticing like what certain foods will make me feel like this way, and now I just try to be more cautious like just of what I eat, and just even if I'm with people and they're like no have this like actually no, like because I don't want to feel like that tomorrow, and I already know eating that will make me feel like yeah, like have the stomach issues. I just for me after my injury a lot of things weren't digesting the same, and I don't know, it's also finding that I guess because I noticed that like it would mess up with my mental health, it would make me mad. Yeah.
Well, I'll say that a lot of things about this injury are really hard when you have well, health issues and ADHD are very hard because we neglect a lot of things that we're supposed to be doing. Again, because they feel tedious. But yeah, so I think with any mental health issue, you want to stay on a balanced diet So I say don't eat too little, because if you're not eating enough, it causes anxiety. And if you have depression, you're already a very low energy, and food is fuel. So if you're not eating enough, you're going to have a dip. And then don't eat too much, because that causes anxiety, because your body's trying to break down all this food and it gets anxious. And if you have depression, it's going to make you slower, and like, it's just it'll take your body more energy to digest, and you don't have enough energy as it is. And of course, heavier foods are going to be harder on you. It just, yes, diet is a huge thing for mental health. And as you said that, like for me, working out too, if I don't work out, I have more dips, and like I'm more uncontrolled. So working out really helps me. So if I stop working out, then that makes it harder.
Okay, see, I always wondered if like food had a correlation. And question answered, baby.
You kill me.
Let me go back to the comments. Someone said, "Good point, Jessica. Trauma experience." Oh, baby. And then someone said, "Am I looking at twins?"
Yes.
They are definitely
You are.
twins.
Twins injured. She's a quad. I'm a para. I think you came in late, but yeah.
Ashley, do you have any unhealthy habits that make your
Uh,
mental health worse?
For me, definitely a good, like an unhealthy habit is I will like stay there for too long. I'm getting better at it.
What do you
for
mean?
sure. Like stay in the funk for too long, stay in the sad, whatever, the bad space for too long. And like
Yeah,
I
I
start
think
neglecting doing the things that like make me happy, and I'm like, girl, why'd you do that? You did that to yourself. That's what I'm like thinking. And then when I start to feel better, when I start to like little by little, I'm like, okay, do what makes you happy again, so you can get back to feeling like you.
So then, what's
and I
your
think
bad
that's
habit, and
common.
how do you fix it?
It's like avoiding do like I started getting in a funk and I avoid doing what I would like.
So with like depressed mood, a lot of people will just like sink into it, and there's like a comfort in it. And so I think what you're saying is you get sunk into it and you just stay there too long. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually very
Wow.
common.
Jessica with the gems. Jessica with the gems.
Yeah, Jessica's got the knowledge.
So I think that
What's the next
then
question?
I think it is, how do you keep yourself out of it? Like, how do you get yourself out of your, like, I guess more, how do you manage it? Would that be a better way to word that?
Okay, I'll start
Yeah, despite having mental health.
because I'm trying to get better at that one. So I'm gonna start saying some things that work for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, music. I need to listen to music like daily. I don't know, it just makes me happy. I get a little groove going. Like I don't know. I need to do that like daily.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking my water. Stay hydrated, okay? Don't become a dehydrated noodle.
I'm a dehydrated noodle right
Yeah,
now.
see? Don't do that.
Oh, shit. Starbucks.
And what's another one that I kind of do? Read. I used to be a big reader before my injury, so here it is. I can tie it to my disability. And I kind of like I really was acting like that girl was dead when I first became injured, and like she is in a sense, but like she's not. And I started reading again this year. I told myself read one book at least every 2 months, and I've been doing it, and it's been making me really happy. So yeah,
And you also been giving yourself realistic goals.
yeah, realistic goals instead of like what you and Jessica were saying, overbooking myself
Yeah.
and saying I'm gonna do something that I know is like is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's doing one thing a day that at least makes me happy. Like do something that's gonna make you smile, so you could look back and be like, you did have a good day yesterday.
You did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
about you?
Me, for me, I did like creating a schedule helps. Therapy every 2 weeks, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also I have a therapist who I can just email if I need an extra session, which was something that was important to me, like when I'm looking for a therapist. So also finding the right therapist, which I'm blessed that I found someone who like we click really well. And then also, let me think. Kind of like allowing myself a break once in a while. Like I think we all agree we overbook ourselves. So even if I have to plan in my week, like this is my day this is like my 2 hours, 3 hours just to myself for a little bit. Because I think after my accident, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, but you're surrounded by so many people, and like it's cool and everything at first. It's nice, like you're like, ooh baby, oh baby, like okay, everyone's here. But then it comes to a point where like you realize, like Ashley kind of said, like the old you is still there. Like you're still a human, and you still, just like before, you still need alone time. You still need, like, even if I don't require care anymore, but in the beginning I did. So it was like that first like year I was always with someone, and I had, even after that, I still kept, like, me and Ashley live together, so we're always together. But even I need a break from her baby. You know what I mean? And I have to be honest, like, and she knows that now. And I think at first it was like,
I need a break from you.
Yeah, and you need a break from me, baby. And so, like, even just telling her, like, I'm going to my room to, like, I'm gonna go watch like a show that's just a show that I watch. Because also being a twin, we are compared a lot. We got injured together, so we're even more like always together.
Yeah, which is another thing we could touch on. That's kind of happened again. So we, grew up together our whole lives. We're like connected by the hip, right? But then went separate, like for college and stuff, and kind of became individuals in a sense. Like people stopped comparing us so much.
I didn't even tell people I had a twin.
Yeah, we had separate lives. But then when we got injured again, boom, Ashley and Nikki.
Yeah, like it was like, man.
And it's like we lost all our individuality again, and it was kind of annoying. And that was kind of something I guess we dealt with like mentally.
And we don't have same interests, but a lot of people will think that we do just because we're injured. Yeah, together. And now we taken in 2022, just try to make sure, like,
girl, do you?
And you know, yeah, but we also then now make time like for sister dates. So like,
for the things we do like to do.
Yeah, for the things we like to do, because we're the same like we were before, but we need to give each other that space like we did before. We were forgetting that for a little bit. Yeah. All that to say, alone time.
I think that's a big one because, after our injuries, we're always with people. It's like horrible. And I love being with people. It's just like what fuels me. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, I just want to go to my room and chill.
Yeah, you need that space.
Sorry.
Yeah. For me, I think taking notes of the things I need to get done, to-do list.
I'm gonna fix it. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I'm doing things on the fly here, guys.
Why am I trying to vent? Like,
there we go.
I know the box. That's on live TV.
So for me, like a to-do list is always helpful. It's more helpful than a schedule because I don't do well with calendars. They overwhelm me. So I just do whatever I need to get done the day of. And then working out helps. Eating right helps. And little things help me. So like having a pop socket, I use it kind of like a fidget spinner. I'm always playing with it. Just always having things that I can stim with. So with ADHD, we need to stim. It's a stimulant disorder, so you constantly need to be doing something. So as long as I have a bracelet, a hair tie, different little strategies so that my hands are always doing something, I can't stop moving. That's really hard for me. So constantly moving helps. I had a client, she was 7, and she was like, if I stop moving, my brain stops working. And I was like, oh, makes total sense to me. So I'm always doodling. I'm always, I
love doodles.
Mostly stimming is a big one for me. And learning to say no has been hard, but I'm getting better at it. And it's not because I want to people please, it's just because I generally think I can do everything. Like it's very much a belief. Yeah. And then I have to like be mindful, like, oh wait, that doesn't take 10 minutes, it takes an hour. Like I think that's a big thing. I think with our injury, right, that we forget how long it takes us to do things sometimes. So slowing down is really helpful for me.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
I like.
You guys want to touch on anything
Probably.
else here, or
Maybe
what we do to keep our mental health
What-
at our best.
we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Maybe we
Yeah.
should shout out the
Well,
sponsors,
this
right?
one,
that's true.
nigga.
We are getting towards the end because I know Jessica does have to leave at 4, so we are gonna have to wrap up. I'll do the sponsor shout out in a minute. We'll do another question to make sure we get these in here. Where we were at, I think right down here. There we go. Are there any signs that your loved one should be aware of when you're struggling, and what do you need from them at the moment or in that moment? If you guys are struggling or anything.
I think for me, I definitely keep a lot of it to myself, which is something I need to work on. So I can't really answer that question, to be honest. I don't really tell.
Alright, but what are signs to know?
What
Tell
are
me
s-
now.
Well, I tell you. You know when I get anxious. You just know.
Well, I don't know. Like, I would say, like, do you start cleaning more, organizing a little extra? Do you just start isolating more? Like, what are signs for you guys?
I'll definitely isolate more.
Yeah, I start watching way too much TV.
Uh,
Don't let me do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. Don't notice.
Yeah, don't let me do that.
Okay. So
Like, especially like trash TV. Like, if I'm watching something educational, like that's fine because that means I'm like stimulating my brain. But when I start watching too much trash TV, it's like, girl, what are you doing?
and you like a lot of trash TV.
No, I don't. Just like entertainment, because I do like entertainment news, so I still want to like, dab in that factor of my life.
But now
But
I know
sometimes
if it's
yeah, like especially like I would say something early on I started doing like after my injury is stop watching drama channel videos because like what was that doing for me and my mental health? Probably nothing good. So I stopped watching them and haven't looked back since. And now it's like I find myself not even watching as many content creators as I used to, like focusing on the ones that actually are doing something positive with their lives, not just doing something clickbait. You know what I mean?
so that's like something you do.
Yeah, but I was just saying, like, I went on a little bit of a tangent, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest with you, just because I don't ever really tell anyone. So maybe I should start being more
But
aware.
what do you do? You know it?
I don't know because I never paid attention because I don't tell anyone. So I probably just isolate myself. I really don't know. I'm gonna start noticing now though because now that question's in my head.
Yeah. I get tired more.
You know, sometimes you don't even think I probably do something and I don't even realize that I'm doing something when I get anxious. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Just a mean girl.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's at my old job, I had more help. Like one of my friends, and well, a couple of my friends, they knew. So they'd take my phone away. I get to scrolling too much, and it's obviously a distraction. So I have people take my phone away. Um, or like I'll even have people that see that I've been on too long, and they'll DM me and they'll say, "Get off your phone." So thanks to everyone who does that. 'Cause I get more distracted. If I'm just, I do vent. I vent a lot to my mom mostly. So she's good at like de-escalating me. She wasn't at the beginning. Like she would tell me things were gonna be okay, and that made me really angry. So now she knows just to listen. Like, don't ever tell me things are gonna be okay. I know that, but I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I like
that's like
that.
a trigger for me. Like
With
for me,
myself.
it's like let me feel my feelings. If you tell me it's gonna be okay, it's like dismissive, you know?
Yeah, it's like I don't think it's gonna be okay right now, so please be quiet.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Like no, shut up. And you know what? I don't know, but maybe we're meaner to able-bodied people. You know, probably like if someone in a chair, yeah. Like when I call my friends who are in chairs and they're like, all right, get over it already, go do this or go do that. I'm like, okay. But if an able-bodied person tells me, ugh, I think I get more mad.
Oh, damn it! Again, I get it wrong. Yeah, I know. I actually feel like that too, similarly as well. So.
Yeah, don't we get more mad at them? Like you don't know.
I know your
Well,
audience.
especially when it's something to do with your
Know
injury, if
your
you're not
audience.
feeling
Mm-hmm.
like something, like it is a lot easier to talk to somebody that's, kind of knows what you're going through and you understand you're on the same level of that. But
Yeah, mine is the UTIs, right? Like,
yeah.
able but my friends and stuff will be like, "Oh my god, you have another one," and I'm like, "Fuck you." And you tell someone in a chair, and they're like, "Yeah, sounds about right."
Yeah.
Go get a
Like,
shot of Rosetta.
no one will be mad at you for saying that. But it's just
Not even
able-bodied people
mad.
don't get it.
I don't even think able-bodied people get mad. They just don't
No,
get it.
yeah, they
Like,
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know Bobby. Like, I'll call him, and he'll say, "All right, go get a shot of Rosetta, drink some water, go to sleep."
It'll be okay.
And then you'll be fine. But it's like they're not gonna know that I need to drink more water or that I need a shot of Rosetta.
No,
I
they
was
just
actually going to
think
mention
that
that.
you have to take antibiotic.
Yeah. I was going to mention earlier one of when you guys were talking about anxiety triggers, I'm trying to let you guys do most of it, but one of mine is water. If I'm not drinking enough water, I get anxiety about that because I know my bladder and I know that I'm
Oh
going to end
yeah.
up with a UTI or I'm going to end up with more spasms and not feel I don't know what it is, but I get anxiety if I'm out and I don't have my water bottle and I don't have access to water. That's
Yeah,
one of
that
my
makes
triggers personally.
sense. Yeah, I think yeah, I'm a very carefree person. I don't really get anxious about things. And so yeah.
UTIs,
I
I don't mess around. I don't,
but when I remember about water, I'm like, fuck. Yeah,
um,
I get scared.
So drink your water, people.
all right, let's get one more question in, and then we can let Jessica wrap up here. I think this is the last one. Yeah. So, what do you actively do to keep your mental health at its best?
I think we touched on this already.
I guess we
Yeah,
did kind of. Wasn't that part of the earlier question? We did.
yeah, work
Yeah.
out, drink your water,
Do things that make you happy.
schedule.
Meditate, schedule, say no to
Yeah. Your
people.
scheduler.
Bam, summary.
Nice.
Live, laugh, love.
Yes. Take
Well,
care of yourself.
yes, definitely. I'll just say, I know it's hard to find a mental health provider who has a disability or understands your disability. So, like I've said in past videos, make sure that when you're looking up a therapist in your area, they have some experience with trauma because for most of us, it's such a transition. It will have a lot of symptoms of trauma, and depression and anxiety fall under trauma. So they'll be able to help a little better. And remember, there are different platforms and areas to find therapists. And if you ever have any questions, follow me or look me up on Instagram. I am a licensed clinical therapist, so I can help a little. I don't do therapy through DMs, but I can help you a little.
And she always posts helpful stuff, videos and stuff like that too, as well. So definitely follow. All right, guys. Should we wrap it up? Because I know Jessica, you have to get out of here. You have an appointment and stuff. I think you
Yeah,
have
my
to
next
make.
come in.
Then I'll just take a quick second to shout out our sponsors. Thank you for the reminder there. There we go.
Yeah.
So thank you to our sponsors, Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a mobility specialist here in Southern California. So anybody in the Southern California area that's needing a wheelchair, commode, any type of adaptive device like that, contact them and they can set you up. And then also Urology Professionals is their sister company, and they are a catheter urology supply company, and they are nationwide. So anywhere in the country, anywhere in the U.S., if you need some catheter supplies, they can take care of you. And they'll take care of insurance, switching over and everything like that, make it all easy for you. Great customer service, and they're just awesome people. They support the community locally around here. They're awesome, and yeah, they're just good companies. Support us, and we thank them.
Hey.
So yeah, sorry Brianna couldn't be here, you guys, and you had to deal with me for the day. I just kind of, you ladies handled it well though, and great information. And anything else you guys want to add?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Check
Stay
your mentals.
healthy.
All right, and also come out, especially the Chicago, the dude in the chat there. Come out and visit us. We'll be in Chicago in 5 weeks at the Abilities Expo. Lots of cool
Yeah.
stuff to see there too. So Abilities Expo is awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, check us all out, guys. Follow, live to roll, and see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.